Hi guys, Crixus here, and today we're going to be talking all about Ride 6. It was announced last week. By now, I hope you've watched the trailer. You might have even watched a couple of YouTubers break down that trailer and take a look at the riders and the tracks that are on show. In this video, I'm going to share all of the main facts, the things that were announced that we know of, as well as sharing things that are yet to be announced and things that we can expect to learn more about pretty soon. So if you haven't heard of me before, if you're new to Ride or you're just picking up Ride 5 in anticipation for Ride 6, my name's Crixus. I make a lot of liveries and Ride user-generated content, and let's begin, shall we? So in the background, I'm going to throw together a livery really quick so you've got something to look at. But I'm going to start off with the absolute key facts. Let's get them over and done with. If you are considering Ride 6 and you've only just watched the trailer, then Ride 6 will be released on the 12th of February 2026. There is early access available if you purchase the Ultimate Edition. If you do that, you'll grab it on February the 9th, 2026. It is available on the PS5, Xbox Series XS, and PC via Steam and Epic Games Store. One thing that really stood out to me when looking into Ride 6 and seeing the posts on their website was 45 tracks. That's an increase. They said both real and fictional tracks, but what really stood out to me was many new to the series. So I'm quite interested to see what tracks get announced later in the run-up to Ride 6. This is the very first time the series has gone off-road, so we can expect to see some off-road tracks, especially to facilitate the new Enduro class. There are over 340 motorcycles in the game. That's across 21 manufacturers and 7 categories. The 2 new categories that we are expecting are Maxi Enduro and the Baggers class. That's the most complete garage, not only in Ride, but I think the most complete garage in any motorcycle game that I'm privy to. It is a considerable increase. I think there was around 250 bikes in Ride 5, so it's gone up quite a lot. So I'm very interested to see what we get there. One of the biggest problems in Ride 5 is the career mode. Kind of sucks. Don't know if you played it. Wasn't the most exciting, a little bit boring. So a real focus for Ride 6 is revamping that career mode, and they're going to do that via Ride Fest, a festival-themed career mode where it takes us across each of the disciplines, and you get to challenge real-world racers in like boss races, a little bit like Ride 5, where you had these kind of boss rides that you would do, where you do like a one-on-one against them. Although these are not just AI nameless figures, these are real-world riders such as Ian Hutchinson, Davey Todd, Peter Hickman, Thomas Sherrier, and the likes. But more on the career very soon. Ride 6 will be using the kind of MotoGP controls, as in you have an option between arcade, which is more accessible and the handling is quite good for newer and relaxed chill players. Though if you are hardcore and you're a little bit more of an esports racer, then there is that pro experience too, with the hyperrealism, modular assists, and a different difficulty scale. Outside of the career mode, we have the Bridgestone Riding School. It's called Bridgestone Riding School, and that'll give you a little bit of a tutorial, and it will finish up in, I think, a race or a 1 lap time trial in Mugello, where you put everything together and try and beat the time. So it's a little bit more hands-on tutorial than which I think we needed in Ride 5 and other games, where it kind of chucks you in and you work it out. Multiplayer is back. It will have local split screen, but I don't think that's available on day 1. The multiplayer lobbies at launch will be 12 riders. That is pretty standard. I think that was the case in Ride 4 and Ride 5, and then later on when we had some more updates it was increased to 20, but I think as the game releases, I might just be server load, the lobbies are 12. It will be the return of all the editors and the creation tools. They'll be back, so I'll be here and I'll be creating lots of content which will be accessible to PC users now, with full cross-platform sharing and full cross-platform gaming in lobbies. So you can create your own helmets, you can create your own suits, and of course you can make deliveries like we're doing on screen now. Can you guess who it is yet? As well as all of the editor tools, we do have the return of the Race Creator. So Race Creator is what I created the British Superbikes and the Moto America Championships on, and that will be coming back. I don't know if they're going to tweak it. If they did, I would love to see a little bit more edit to like AI strengths, like AI performance. I'd like to have like certain riders be a little bit faster than others to create something a little bit more believable and lifelike. But hey, that's nitpicking. It's a really good feature. If you've never played the Race Creator before and you have just picked up Ride 5, seek out the BSB Championship, seek out Moto America. It's just super fun and it adds a whole new layer to the game. It is built on Unreal Engine 5 this time. Was it not on Ride 5? But we should expect some improved visuals and details. If you have pre-ordered the game, you will get some additional packs. If you bought the standard edition, you will get the base game plus a Made in Japan bikes pack. If you got the deluxe edition, you'll get that Made in Japan bikes pack, but a Made in Italy bikes pack as well, and it includes the Season Pass, which is Season Pass Volume 1 has already promised 33 bikes, 3 tracks and 6 new career areas. And if, like me, you're a bit of a nerd and you've got the Ultimate Edition, you'll get all that plus a Volume 2 of Season Pass, your credits multiplier and the 3-day early access I mentioned earlier. Both Season Passes equate to 63 bikes, 6 new tracks and 12 new career areas. So, that's announced, that's out there. Let's talk about things that haven't been announced yet. The interesting stuff, right? So the way that you purchase motorcycles is going to be slightly different in Ride 6. There will be 2 storefronts that you would purchase motorcycles from. We currently in Ride 5 have the dealership, and you would go in there and you would search via your manufacturer and you'd scroll quite a lot to try and find the bike that you want. In Ride 6 we're going to have a used bike dealership, a little bit more lifelike. And this is going to be a storefront that refreshes every, I want to say week. I'm about 90% sure it's week, I'm not sure. But it will refresh. So if you want to get particular bikes, you have to be online in order to get them. This is different, though. If you are used to playing maybe Gran Turismo, that's how they have something very similar. It is where you, I imagine, purchase bikes from as far back as the noughties and beyond. So you would have a dealership. So if I'm comparing this to Gran Turismo, you have Brand Central, and in Brand Central you go in and you get what you would expect to see if you went into a Honda or Kawasaki shop, all of the new models, the superbikes and so on, and that's where you would purchase them. Now if you wanted an older bike, maybe a second-hand bike, you'd go to a second-hand dealership, and that's what Riders 6 are going to bring in, which I think is quite interesting. And I think what it will do is there's 340 bikes. I do not want to scroll 340 bikes to find the one that I want. So what it will do is kind of make that Brand Central or that dealership a little bit easier to manage, and then begin to bring those older bikes in. Whether the performance differs based on the amount, the mileage or anything like that, if it is as granular as that, I'm not too sure. But this additional way of buying motorcycles is quite interesting. I know this because of we have some trophies. So I've noticed some trophies that you've purchased a bike through the used bike dealership with 48 hours less before the store refreshes. So that's one of the trophies. So that's where I got this detail from. The next thing, and this is maybe a little bit of speculation, is if you look at any post that they put, people are screaming for open world. Honestly, I'm not sure why. I would never view Ride as a game that would have open world, but apparently people want it. For me, if you look at Forza and you look at the Crew Motorfest, those are great games with a really rich and diverse open world, but they don't have licensed tracks, which probably cost quite a bit of money and a lot of setup to do. They don't have licensed tracks. And on the other side, Ride has lots of licensed tracks. Many of the 45 tracks will be tracks that we know and love. Why you would then put the amount of money and effort into creating a massive open world is beyond me. However, if we had to just step back and look at this and think, okay, if Ride 6 has an open world, how would it be implemented? And actually, there's some hints that there might be, and I'm only might here. So the career mode is split up into areas. In the DLC, we unlock new career areas. That's pretty easy to see if you look at their website. If you look at the trophies that are on offer, there's a lot of challenges and things that you would do within these areas. So maybe, I mean, this is not open world, but maybe this is free roam. It could be, right? And I'm not talking like open world GTA map type thing. I'm thinking small compounds, small themed areas that make up this this career map that could be Ridefest. Now that's wishful thinking. That could be true. However, on the other side of things, you could argue that Ridefest is maybe like a user experience where it's a bird's eye view of a big festival, and there's like areas of that festival that you unlock as you progress around the festival. And they've used these kind of overhead maps quite a lot. If you've looked at the Hot Wheels games, it could just be a bird's eye view of a festival, and you unlock areas, and when you go in those areas, there's like time trials and different challenges. Different challenges as well. So there's an argument for both. But whether or not we have free roam, it's unlikely. If I had to answer it, it's unlikely, but it's not impossible, because career areas is a very interesting use of word, right? It's not a playlist. It's not like a set of tracks or races or anything. It's vague enough that it could be something that is open world, that it could be a bit of free roam. So elsewhere, it looks like we'll have more options in customizing our motorcycles. There is trophies that reward us for buying and mounting customized components onto our bikes for the first time. So our bikes may offer a little bit more customization than we expected in Ride 5. Also, we see the return of the day and night cycle and the change in conditions. They are making a return. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. I don't mind the occasional night race when it makes sense, like an endurance race, but I'm not. I thought Ride 5 maybe did a little bit of overkill on the night races. Though to be honest, they did an overkill on the repetition quite a lot during that career mode. And as in Ride 5, the tracks are separated into 3 different areas, from European to Americas to Asia and Africa. So there is achievements to be had for winning 5 races at 5 different European tracks, 5 different Asian and African tracks, and 5 different Americas tracks. So like Ride 5, we're probably going to have that kind of segregation, which is no different to what we're used to, but there'll be some nice, interesting new tracks on there to play as. And last but not least, I'll go through all of the boss riders. We've got Peter Hickman, James Tosland, Skylar Howes, Ian Hutchinson, Guy Martin, Thomas Schreier, Tyler O'Hara, Troy Bayliss, Casey Stoner and Nicolo Canepa. That's everything that I've got. I'll be back sporadically through now and the release to give more details. Thank you for watching this livery creation. Did you guess who it was? It's quite a difficult one because it's not the right bike. So this is a 2008 Honda CBR with a 2016 livery of Dan Linfoot, British Superbike racer, who currently, I believe, races in the Endurance. I'll be back with more, but thank you for watching. Share your thoughts. What are you excited about? What do you feel about the Endurance? What do you feel about the open world? Is that something that's absolutely needed, or are you more like me and think, different type of game? I'll be back soon. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And click us out.